Hi, this is Jessica with Beautifully Balanced Nutrition, and today we're going to be talking about sprouted brown rice. So all that sprouted brown rice is rice that has been soaked and allowed to soak in water and germinate over a period of time. And you'll also hear it referred to as germinated brown rice. It's the same thing. And all we mean when we say germinated is that we've taken this dormant grain and we've encouraged it to grow into a plant, essentially. So we are kind of being kitchen gardeners here. And the reason for that, a couple of reasons. First, it increases the digestibility of the grain, and it also actually increases its nutritive value. Now, one of the reasons it increases its digestibility is because inherent in all nuts, seeds, grains, and beans are what are called enzyme inhibitors. And you can think of enzyme inhibitors as nature's preservative, right? It preserves it and keeps it from budding and keeps it from sprouting. One of these preservatives that is particularly high in grains is something called phytic acid. And what phytic acid does is not only act as a storage unit, but it also binds with things like magnesium, zinc, copper, iron in our own intestines. So that can create deficiencies if we're consuming too high of a quantity of phytic acid. All right, so it's very simple in terms of how we do this in our own kitchen, and I'm going to show you that now. So we take our brown rice, and we're also going to use a mason jar. I recommend a mason jar because I find it's easiest, but you can also use a bowl if you'd like. And you want to measure out about 1/3 of the mason jar. We don't want to fill it up too much because when you soak it and then subsequently sprout your rice, it's going to expand quite a bit. All right, so once we have about 1/3 of the way full, we're going to add some purified water. Fill it right up, and then we're going to let it sit overnight or for about 12 hours. So once it's been soaking for about 12 hours, the rice will have plumped up and it'll be ready to rinse. Now this is when a sprouting lid comes in handy because it just screws right onto the top of the mason jar. And then you can just invert it and drain it. But if you don't have a sprouting lid, that's fine. I'm going to show you what to do. So you just take the lid of the mason jar, you're going to remove the metal insert inside, and then just cut a piece of cheesecloth to fit the mouth of the mason jar. Screw the lid right on top, and you have a cheesecloth strainer, which works just as well. So what you want to do is drain and then rinse this. Simply drain it, rinse it. I recommend rinsing it a few times. You're going to want to swish it around a bit, making sure that all the grains are fully rinsed. 2 or 3 times should be sufficient. So once you've drained it and rinsed it, you simply want to take a bowl, and once all the water's out of there, it's a little faster with the sprouting lid, take a bowl and invert it right into there. And then you're going to just let it sit in a shaded area of your kitchen, and you're going to let it sit for about 24 to 48 hours until the rice starts to germinate and little tails are going to form. Now, very important though, during that time, you do want to still drain and rinse it periodically. I'd say maybe 2 times a day, 3 times a day, 2 times a day minimum, and that way it's going to prevent any mold or bacteria from growing and breeding in there. Now, the conversions are a little different since there is quite a bit more water in this rice than what we originally started with. So if you used about 1.5 cups of brown rice to soak, then use only about 2 cups of water when you're cooking. And it's going to cook much shorter too. So normally brown rice is about 45 minutes or so, and this is going to be about 10 to 15 minutes until it's ready to go. So just make sure you test it and keep an eye on it so you're not overcooking your rice. And there you have it.